AITA for telling my aunt she wasn't allowed to see my newborn. I am not the original poster. Originally posted by you, Patchwork Purple Moon on r. Am I the asshole? AITA for telling my aunt she wasn't allowed to see my newborn. The 15th of June 2022. For my 20th entire pregnancy, my aunt A. 43F would make snide comments toward me and my fiancé, 22 meters, about how we aren't fit to be parents, with our outrageous lifestyle. We live in a camper on my mom and stepdad's property that is our temporary home, and it's fully furnished with a working kitchen and bathroom. We're also a little bit on the hippie side of life. She would say she was surprised that my fiancé managed to get me pregnant since he isn't very much of a man. We share clothes. She would also make fun of my weight gain, saying she could barely see my belly with all the fat. I'm a pretty small woman, I think, and that eating for two isn't meant to be taken seriously. I tried to be kind to her in the beginning months of pregnancy because she had suffered through 2 miscarriages before I got pregnant. My fiancé has never been open about her being hurtful toward me and wouldn't let me write it off as her being upset over losing her babies, and I needed to set clear boundaries, so I did. And told her she couldn't see the baby without my permission. My aunt also has a history of breaking boundaries and calling CPS on family members because they don't have the same ideals that she does. Well, I just had baby a month ago and finally felt well enough to visit family. I have a rough relationship to my bio dad's side of the family, and I'm truly only close with my grandparents and siblings. So this past Sunday I decided I was going to take my baby to my grandparents' house so they could meet their great-grandbaby. I had informed my grandma that I didn't want to see Aunt A, and she obliged, only telling a few closer relatives that I was bringing baby over. Aunt C and her children. In attempt to keep it a secret from Aunt A, we had a great time and took many pictures with my family and baby. Here's where things get bad. My grandma had posted a picture on Facebook of her holding baby. She had full permission, and my Aunt A had seen it despite not using Facebook for years, and within the hour had showed up at my grandma's house wanting to see baby. I told her that she could leave, and just because she was family she does not have the right to see my baby since she had been so disrespectful toward me and my fiancé. My cousin and my fiancé immediately put themselves between her and I to try and talk her down from her rage, and I could remove myself and baby from the room. My fiancé managed to get my Aunt A and her children out of the house so we could leave. I got a text from one of my older cousins who was on my side during the fight saying that I should have just let Aunt A see the baby so the afternoon didn't get ruined. So AITA? Verdict. NTA. Update. AITA for not letting my aunt see my newborn. The 6th of January 2023. You can the original post here. It's been around 6 months since the incident, and I wish I had a happier update. My aunt has still not taken the hint that I don't want her to be around my child or my fiancé at all. I respect my grandparents' choice to allow her over to their house for holidays and still attend the get-together despite knowing she'll be there. I still think I'm being a little ridiculous until she goes and tries to grab baby out of the high chair or car seat without permission, and it drives me insane. This whole situation has driven a wedge in my family. Half of them believe I'm being selfish for not just allowing her to even hold the baby, and the other half have constantly had problems with her and completely agree with me. She has suffered another miscarriage in the last 6 months, and I'm very sorry this is happening to her, but I can't put my baby in contact with her anymore, so I've decided to keep my distance at holidays and get-togethers. We attended Christmas at my grandma's until she showed up with her kids in tow to get a hold of baby any way possible. I invited her over today at my grandma's to speak with her without baby, and it went horribly. When she comes in, she sees my fiance and I, and then immediately notices that we don't have the baby. And she flips her lid, yelling at us like we're children because we tricked her into coming there, only to not bring the baby. My fiance started the conversation only to be yelled at and called many names by my aunt. She runs away crying into the kitchen like we had done something to her. I followed her in and lectured her through her crying, telling her that her behavior at the moment was the exact reason she was not allowed to be around our baby, and if she was going to continue to belittle us on our lifestyle and parenting, she would never see baby again. It felt silly to be lecturing someone 20 years my senior while she cried like a child. We left without saying anything else, and I held my tears in until we reached the car and sobbed the rest of the way home in the comfort of my fiance. That was hours ago at this point, and I still feel a little silly for how I'm acting, even though my aunt had shown how unstable she was to me today. But I don't want this to drive an even bigger wedge in my family. Editor's note: I am marking this as inconclusive, since it sounds like the issue with the aunt has not been solved at all. Reminder: I am not the original poster. Originally posted by you, Patchwork Purple Moon, on r. Am I the asshole? Honestly, if I had a relative that I genuinely believed had ever called CPS on someone for frivolous reasons, they'd be lucky to even find out I have a child, let alone see him. Aw man. Aunt Crazy is the one driving a wedge. She's a cruel woman and obviously not stable enough to be around young children. They're doing right protecting their baby. I mean, this lady seems unhinged enough to steal the child, doesn't she? I get Oop not wanting to rock the boat and make things awkward. But doesn't it seem like they should be putting baby's safety above the feelings of other family members? This is 100% not over and is very concerning. This woman is in her 40s and is acting like she's 8 and got told she can't play with someone else's toy. I'm glad Oop has stood her ground on keeping the aunt away from the baby, but I feel like there's going to be another update where the aunt called CPS on the parents, since she has a history of it. Is anyone else afraid that the aunt is going to take OOP's baby at some point? Or hurt them? Because that's about all I could think of as I was reading it, unfortunately. They sound like they had to grow up fast and are doing great for themselves. I hope they go and see. This isn't healthy and shouldn't be put up with. I don't understand why Oop didn't go and see with her aunt from the beginning. The woman clearly has issues. Update: I did the opposite of your advice and now the situation's worse, strikes again. I don't get why the aunt would even want to see the baby. Woman shrugging. Edited to add: yes, I actually get it. Tears of joy, it's just incredulous. Edited again to add: yes, I know she wants that baby for herself. Tears of joy. It was a rhetorical question, marveling at the incredulity of it all. If she has a history of calling CPS, that's an automatic disqualification right there. I hate that whole don't want to be the reason my family divides BS. People put up with insanity for no gain. Nothing but stress and upset, and they continue the intergenerational insanity. Protect your kid and yourself. Damn. Aunt is 43 years old, having miscarriages but has children, crying and screaming at people about them being selfish for not allowing her access to their children? Yeah, not happening. Honestly, Op needs to go and see with her aunt. And if any family member tries to push the subject, they get cut off too. I know that completely sucks because it's family. But the aunt sounds like a flat-out danger to Oop and her family at this point. She has a known history of calling CPS. Attempts to grab the baby even after being told she's not welcome to do so. And I do not put it past her to try and take the child and then whine that she was just helping. When tracked down, they need to document all her behavior. The aunt sounds like a walking restraining order. The aunt isn't mentally well. Maybe she's viewing the baby as hers, because she feels entitled to a baby after her multiple miscarriages? Oops, should be careful, as you never know the aunt will do to the baby. What the hell is her obsession with this girl's baby? I recently cut contact with one of my aunts as well. She's only seen my children a handful of times in their lives. And just because she sees pics of them on social media doesn't mean she knows them. Or they know her. At a family barbecue we had an argument over getting vaccinated, and how she opposed it. I made it clear I disagreed with her and thought she was putting at risk members of our family in danger. A few minutes later, my 4-year-old daughter went to my grandpa crying because she had hurt herself. And my aunt took it upon herself to pick her up and snuggle her. I lost my temper and told her not to touch my children. She's literally a stranger to my daughter, maybe seeing her 3 times in her life. She stormed off from the barbecue and it kinda ruined the evening. I've gone NC since and have enjoyed the peace. But I'm also okay to opt out of family events if she's going to be present. My husband's grandmother was abusive to her grandkids growing up. She is also very manipulative. My husband and I have a 3-year-old. We decided she will never meet her great-grandmother. My father-in-law was very upset by our decision. He tried to protest, but my husband made it clear if my father-in-law sneaks great-grandmother over when our daughter is at their house, our daughter will no longer be going to their house. If father-in-law has such a big problem with it, his visitation of our daughter will go down or stop altogether. My husband told his father he doesn't care what the family thinks of us. Our job as parents is to do what we think is right for our daughter. If that upsets the family, then okay. So be it. We haven't heard any protests since. Not a word about great-grandma at all. Honestly, the second she weaponized CPS, I wouldn't consider that woman family. Full stop. Aside from going NC with that aunt, Oop should file a restraining order. Oop is just making this worse by continuing to engage. It's nice to see a fiancé that actually stands up for their family and sets boundaries, which doesn't seem like the norm in this sub.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.